I'm Sheriff Jack Stevens. Each morning when I wake up, I look at the Mississippi River Gulf outlet from the back porch of my house in Shell Beach. I was born and raised here, and for years these waters provided me with wonderful memories of fishing, of hunting, of family and friends. 2 years ago, Hurricane Katrina tore through these waters, through my home and through our parish. The fond memories that I had were replaced by images of death and destruction that I witnessed with my own eyes. But what I remember is the fortitude and determination of the citizens of St. Bernard and the courage of the deputies in my command.
Initially, what I thought we could do is get the ferry belong to a levee. We just came back. With light trucks, you can make that. But they've got bundled plywood in there that we can put down. They'll make like benches or beds. And right by the river, we got some portalettes over there. If not, the river's right there. The woods are right there. Everything's dry, but you can stand the heat in it because other people are going to die.
I've always enjoyed the challenges of being your sheriff. For 23 years, I've worked diligently to assemble what I believe is the finest law enforcement agency in the state of Louisiana. I'm certain that each sheriff or police chief feels the same way about his or her organization, but few departments in the United States of America have been put to the test the way the St. Bernard Sheriff's Department has. And from rescue to recovery to rebuilding, I'm here to tell you that we have passed the test with flying colors. The Sheriff's Department performs many functions for the citizens of St. Bernard. We collect taxes, issue licenses, and serve court documents. Our most important mission, however, is public safety. Ensuring the safety of our citizens ranges from enforcing speeding laws to solving crimes. We've identified and captured pedophiles who targeted our children and murderers who held no regard for human life. We fought the drug war 24 hours a day, every day. We've utilized undercover officers to capture street dealers and worked side by side with federal agencies to nab high-level dealers. We've also locked up doctors who poisoned our people for profit. We've resolved hostage situations and standoffs with armed subjects. The Sheriff's Department has one of the best equipped and well-trained SWAT teams in the state. Highly trained tactical members and hostage negotiators with state-of-the-art equipment on 24-hour call should a crisis develop. The team is so well respected throughout the area that they've been called on numerous times to offer logistical and tactical assistance to neighboring jurisdictions. We've been first responders to everything from automobile accidents to refinery explosions. We have performed each of these tasks as well as any law enforcement organization in the region. The statistics speak for themselves. Our crime rate is the lowest in the metropolitan area, as it was before Hurricane Katrina. I am proud of having the lowest murder rate in the region as well as one of the highest homicide clearance rates. In 2005, months before the hurricane, the newly formed cold case section within the Detective Bureau solved a homicide that occurred in 1977, 7 years before I became sheriff. While I am proud to have assembled and led the team that achieved these results, there aren't words to describe the feelings that I have for the way the men and women of the St. Bernard Sheriff's Department answered the call and served the public when confronted by the largest natural disaster in our nation's history. Each member of the Sheriff's Department lost his or her residence and most, if not all, of their personal belongings. Deputies lost friends and loved ones and went weeks without seeing their families. We faced the crisis without state or federal assistance and without basic medical care for deputies who were injured while saving the lives of others. I will never know a greater feeling of honor than that I felt to lead a team of dedicated and courageous men and women who did whatever it took to rescue citizens from rooftops, from open water, from hospitals, and from schools. Although every Sheriff's Department building was destroyed by the storm and the great majority of our fleet went underwater, we turned a giant deserted warehouse into a rescue center where we fed, sheltered, and cared for 8,000 evacuees, moving each one of them from peril to safety, away from the devastation.
I want to thank all the deputies for all the help that they've given us. They really have. They've rescued us. They've given us food. They're really helping us out as much as possible, and I want to thank them.
Every time I see the footage we provided today, I'm taken back to those days. I remember fighting a driving current and 100-mile-per-hour winds as I drove my boat to Arabi to rescue 10 detectives who stayed in their office to guard the parish line. I remember the story of tragedy and fear on the face of each evacuee that we rescued. I also remember watching the city of New Orleans on fire, thankful that the deputies were preventing that chaos from spilling over our parish line. My opponent would have you believe that the deputies were less than heroic. At the Alliance for Good Government Forum, Larry Landry stated that the Sheriff's Department was the laughingstock of the world. Every one of us who wears a badge, who swore an oath, and who stayed to battle Katrina is deeply offended by this ludicrous statement. The footage you saw in this program tells a true story and reveals my opponent's claims for what they are, blatant lies. If he had been here, he might know that now. The men and women of the Sheriff's Department made St. Bernard and America proud. The commendations and testimonials that we received are too numerous to mention. They come from organizations as varied as the United States Navy, Congress, and the New York Police Department. My mission as sheriff in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina has run the gamut from setting up a temporary law enforcement complex to rebuilding a fleet of vehicles and watercraft. I've arranged housing for my deputies and testified before Congress. I've also fought diligently to secure operating funds from the state and federal government to ensure your continued safety. We implemented plans immediately to ensure that the murders, robberies, and home invasions that were plaguing the FEMA trailer parks and neighboring parishes would not happen here. It has been my privilege for the past 23 years to keep St. Bernard the safest parish in the metro area and to lead a sheriff's department that truly defined courage under fire. On November 17th, I ask you to allow me to continue the mission and re-elect me Sheriff of St. Bernard Parish. Thank you.
I'm Jeff Wiley. I'm the Sheriff of Ascension Parish and also in 2005 served as the President of the Louisiana Sheriff's Association and headed up the task force, the Incident Command for the Katrina response. During that time, I observed up close and personal the responsibilities and the tasks that fell on the shoulders of Sheriff Jack Stevens of St. Bernard Parish. I saw his intellect, I saw his courage, and I saw his take command attitude. He was the answer then, and he is the answer now.
I'm Dr. Lee Domingue. I've been an emergency physician in St. Bernard Parish for 30 years. I was here before, during, and after Hurricane Katrina struck. I witnessed remarkable courage, character, and perseverance by the sheriff's deputies and their leader, Jack Stevens. At that time, during the storm, and directly after, multiple victims were rescued by these people who very likely otherwise would have perished. While neighboring areas were under assault and duress, the security of the perimeter of St. Bernard was maintained. That was done so by the efforts of these fine men and women. I have known and been associated with Jack Stevens for 25 years. I've seen how he operates the department before Katrina, during, and after. In my opinion, no one could have done a better job. It would be a travesty not to put this man back in office.
I'm Hal Turner, the Executive Director of the Louisiana Sheriff's Association and former sheriff. I believe that in great tragedy comes great courage, and it shows the character of the kind of men that we need in law enforcement, men like Jack Stevens. As crime has been on the rise, I believe that Sheriff Jack Stevens has done a good job in your parish, and I think the statistics bear that out. And I hope whenever you go vote that you'll remember to support him as he supported you and give him his vote, because he's done a great job as your sheriff.
Hi, my name's Sean Warner. I'm a lifelong resident of St. Bernard Parish. I work for Gulf Coast Bank. After Hurricane Katrina, all of our branches were completely destroyed. Thanks to Sheriff Jack Stevens and the St. Bernard Parish Sheriff's Department, not one penny went unaccounted for. Sheriff Jack Stevens has stopped crime at the parish line, and that's very important to me because I'm a resident of St. Bernard Parish. So please join with me in supporting Jack Stevens for sheriff.
I'm Mike Granazza. I'm the former Executive Director of the Louisiana Commission on Law Enforcement. I've had the opportunity to work closely with Sheriff Jack Stevens since Hurricane Katrina. Not only did the hurricane take lives and destroy property, but it also devastated the tax base that funds the Sheriff's Department. Jack has worked tirelessly with the state and federal government to secure the funds to fight crime and keep St. Bernard safe. Jack's leadership is needed in St. Bernard, now more than ever.
We're the Dubose family. We lost our home to Katrina 2 years ago, and we decided to return to St. Bernard Parish because we feel safe here. The sheriff in office now, I believe, keeps our kids safe. On November 17th, we think it is important to re-elect Sheriff Jack Stevens.